Bongbong Marcos is headed for a landslide victory as the Philippines elections nears its end. What will a Marcos win bring to the Philippines? We speak to Azmi Hassan, Senior Fellow at Nusantara Academy for Strategic Research.
So according to the polls, I guess there is no doubt that Marcos Jr. Will be the next president if nothing, unprecedented happens. So in this case, well, some say that why do the Filipinos want to elect another Marcos? But Philippine election from way back until today is all about personality. And having a Marcos name behind you, I guess it really helps because the voters basically have a little choice between Marcos Jr., which is very popular, very popular as a governor before this, and also very popular in terms of family relationship, and also they have a lawyer activist, which is a very ideal in her campaigning. So I guess it will be no surprise that Marcos Jr. will be the next president of Philippines.
Azmi views that a majority of Filipinos expect a strongman-style leadership from Marcos should he become president, following the footsteps of incumbent Rodrigo Duterte.
The problem with Marcos Jr. arrival is that she wants a government that are clean, no corruption. The problem is that during 6 years Duterte tenure, he's a very popular president, even though he did his job, I think, not following the law. So I think the people want Marcos Jr. to be something like that, to be something like a very semi-dictator president that can do his job, as what Duterte has been doing for the last 6 years, especially on eradicating, this scourge of drugs problem. So I think they want a very strong president, and then they see Marcos Jr. can be a very strong president, especially when tackling the economic woes post-pandemic.
What would a revived Marcos presidency mean to the region? Azmi said that ASEAN leaders would be able to maintain good relations similar to the one they have with Duterte.
If you look at Duterte, his style of presidency is basically dictatorship, very similar to Marcos, except for a few different things. But again, people have to realize, outsiders have to realize that the Marcos era was 3-4 decades ago. And the majority of voters, the younger voters, maybe they are not that attached to the Marcos era. So I think they won't, if Marcos Jr. will be the president, I think the Filipinos, the voters, will accept them. They are happy with that. And I think it won't affect much in terms of ASEAN, in how they handle Marcos Jr., because ASEAN leaders, they can work very good, fairly good with Duterte. So I don't see any reason why other ASEAN leaders cannot work with Marcos Jr.